The ground beneath their feet turned into a violent ocean of concrete and steel. In mere seconds, an entire nation held its breath as nature unleashed its fury on Japan's northeastern coast. What happened next would send shockwaves far beyond the epicenter, revealing truths about survival that most people never have to face. Monday night started like any other in Aomori Prefecture. Families were settling in for the evening, children finishing homework, adults winding down from work. Then at exactly 11:15 p.m., the earth itself seemed to roar. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake erupted from deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, transforming ordinary life into chaos in an instant. The numbers alone tell a staggering story. 44 to 54 kilometers beneath the seafloor, tectonic forces that had been building for years finally snapped. The rupture point sat 80 kilometers offshore, but its effects reached far inland with devastating speed. On Japan's seismic intensity scale that runs from 1 to 7, this quake maxed out the meter in Hachinohe City. But here's where things get truly terrifying. Witnesses describe scenes that sound almost impossible. People couldn't stand upright. The ground moved so violently that walking became like trying to balance on a ship in a storm. Heavy furniture that had stood in place for decades suddenly became deadly projectiles. Refrigerators toppled, bookshelves crashed down, and the very walls seemed to dance.
That's a big one.
Earthquake. Earthquake.
Oh my god, it's this!
Within minutes of the first shock, a different kind of fear gripped the coast. Tsunami warnings blared across 3 prefectures, Aomori, Iwate, and Hokkaido. The memories of 2011's devastating tsunami were still fresh in everyone's minds. Could history be repeating itself? The answer would determine the fate of thousands. 90,000 people received the order that changes everything: evacuate immediately. In the darkness of night, entire communities abandoned their homes and fled for higher ground. The streets became rivers of humanity, all flowing upward, away from the hungry sea. The evacuation itself became a study in controlled panic. Imagine trying to coordinate 90,000 people moving at once in the dark, with aftershocks still rattling nerves. Cars were abandoned in the middle of roads as drivers realized they could move faster on foot. Elderly residents who hadn't run in years found themselves sprinting up hillsides. Parents carried children, neighbors helped neighbors, and strangers became allies in the race against time. Emergency shelters that had been quiet for years suddenly burst to life. School gymnasiums transformed into temporary homes. Community centers became command posts. The infrastructure Japan had built for exactly this scenario was put to the ultimate test. Meanwhile, at the shoreline, scientists and emergency workers watched the sea with a mixture of dread and determination. The first tsunami measurements came in, waves between 20 and 70 centimeters at various ports. While not the towering walls of water that had devastated the coast in 2011, these surges still carried enough force to sweep away anyone caught in their path. The power grid took a massive hit. Thousands of homes plunged into darkness just when people needed light the most. Imagine trying to evacuate your family, gather emergency supplies, and navigate unfamiliar terrain all in pitch blackness while the ground continues to shake. Yet within hours, repair crews had restored electricity to all but a few hundred homes, a testament to Japan's earthquake preparedness. Transportation networks ground to a halt. Train lines that carry millions of passengers daily fell silent. Stations that normally buzzed with activity became ghost towns. The arteries of modern life were severed, leaving communities isolated just when connection mattered most. As dawn broke, the true scope of the event became clear. 7 people had been injured, rushed to hospitals with various trauma. While none faced life-threatening conditions, their experiences served as stark reminders of how quickly normalcy can shatter. One moment you're safe at home, the next you're dodging falling debris or being thrown against walls by forces beyond human comprehension.
か1週間程度、特に今後2、3日間につきましては、今回の地震と同じく最大震度6強程度の地震に注意していただきたいと思っております。
A powerful earthquake has struck northern Japan off the coast of Aomori, triggering waves up to 70 centimeters.
The nuclear question loomed large in everyone's minds. Japan's relationship with nuclear power changed forever after Fukushima. Every earthquake now carries the added weight of potential nuclear disaster. Emergency teams immediately checked every reactor, every cooling system, every safety measure. The relief was palpable when all facilities reported normal operations, but the danger was far from over. Seismologists issued warnings that made everyone's blood run cold. Major aftershocks could strike at any moment, not small tremors, but potentially powerful quakes in their own right. The main event might be over, but the Earth wasn't done moving. The economic ripples spread instantly. Currency traders watching from Tokyo, London, and New York saw the yen weaken as investors processed the implications. Would this impact Japan's economy? Could supply chains be disrupted? Markets hate uncertainty, and earthquakes deliver uncertainty in spades. Yet within hours, stability returned as reports confirmed limited damage. Local authorities activated emergency protocols refined through decades of experience. Task forces assembled to coordinate search and rescue, assess infrastructure damage, and maintain communication with affected areas. Every bridge, every building, every critical facility underwent immediate inspection. Even structures that appeared undamaged could harbor hidden weaknesses that might fail in an aftershock. The psychological impact rippled through communities far from the epicenter. Social media lit up with messages from people checking on loved ones. Phone networks strained under the load as millions tried to confirm family members were safe. The shared national trauma of 2011 meant everyone understood the stakes. Coastal residents faced an agonizing choice: return home to check on property and possessions, or stay in shelters until authorities gave the all clear. Many had left with only the clothes on their backs, medications, important documents, family heirlooms, all abandoned in the rush to reach safety. Yet officials pleaded with evacuees to stay away from beaches and low-lying areas. The sea might look calm, but tsunami waves can arrive hours after an earthquake. International seismologists turned their attention to Japan, analyzing data to understand what this quake might mean for future seismic activity.
A 7.6 magnitude earthquake has struck off Japan's northeastern coast.
A magnitude 7.5 earthquake hit northern Japan today.
Tsunami advisory 発表日時2015年月曜日23時に
Magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck off the eastern coast of Aomori Prefecture around 11:16 p.m.
Japan's meteorological agency is reporting a powerful earthquake off the country's northern coast.
The Ring of Fire, that horseshoe-shaped zone of volcanic and seismic activity encircling the Pacific, had flexed its muscles once again. Japan sits at the intersection of 4 tectonic plates, making it one of the most geologically active regions on Earth. The comparison to March 11, 2011 was inevitable. That magnitude 9.0 earthquake and subsequent tsunami killed nearly 20,000 people and triggered the Fukushima nuclear disaster. While Monday's quake was powerful, experts stressed it was a different beast entirely. The magnitude difference might seem small on paper, but the 2011 quake released roughly 60 times more energy. Yet for those who lived through both events, the emotional impact was profound. Trauma doesn't care about magnitude scales or scientific measurements. The feeling of helplessness as the ground betrays your trust, the fear as you wonder if this is the big one, the relief when you realize you've survived, these experiences leave lasting marks. Recovery efforts began even before the sun rose. Utility workers restored power, transportation officials inspected rail lines, and structural engineers examined buildings for damage. Japan's building codes, among the strictest in the world, had once again proven their worth. Structures swayed but didn't collapse. Lives were disrupted but not lost. The government's response demonstrated hard-learned lessons from previous disasters. Communication was clear and consistent. Evacuation orders were decisive. Emergency services mobilized quickly. The chaos was managed, the panic controlled. This wasn't luck, it was preparation meeting opportunity. As the immediate danger passed and tsunami warnings downgraded to advisories, a different phase began. The return home for 90,000 evacuees, the cleanup of scattered belongings, the emotional processing of another close call. Japan would continue, as it always does, but with renewed awareness of the ground beneath its feet. Scientists remind us that this won't be the last major earthquake to strike Japan. The tectonic forces that created the Japanese islands continue their relentless motion. Pressure builds, rock strains, and eventually, inevitably, something gives way. The question isn't if another major quake will strike, but when. This reality shapes Japanese society in profound ways. Children practice earthquake drills from kindergarten. Buildings incorporate the latest seismic technology. Emergency supplies stay stocked in millions of homes. It's a culture built on the understanding that the earth itself can't be trusted to stay still. Monday night's earthquake serves as a powerful reminder of nature's awesome force and humanity's resilience in facing it. While the ground shook and the sea threatened, people responded with courage, preparation, and mutual support. The casualties were minimal, the damage contained, but the lesson remains clear. In earthquake country, vigilance is the price of survival. As Japan moves forward, the tremors will fade, but the memory lingers. Each quake adds another layer to the national experience, another data point in the ongoing experiment of living atop one of Earth's most restless regions. The buildings will be inspected, the systems refined, and life will return to normal, until the next time the Earth decides to remind everyone who's really in charge. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.